Hey guys, the Backpack Guide here. Welcome back. Today we're going to go through tips 6 through 10 from my 10 tips for hiking preparedness. If you haven't checked out 1 through 5, go on, or I'll place the link maybe right up here or over here somewhere. You guys can go back and check out those first 5 tips. But without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into tips 6 through 10 today. All right, tip number 6, as you guys can see here on my website, is do no harm. And this kind of goes back to our tips number 1 and tips number 2. But basically, you want to take no action that is going to make the situation worse, right? If things have gone wrong and you need to remedy that situation, you need to take actions that don't make anything worse, right? So in waterfront lifeguarding, we talk a lot about assessing the situation before we go, right? If you're a swiftwater rescue, if you're part of a swiftwater rescue operation and you're looking at victims stuck in a very, very fast moving river, you have to make a determination of whether or not you're going to have the right equipment and the right capability to go into that environment, into that river to save folks before you actually do it, right? If you do it before you're prepared, if you make a decision to go before you know, then you can end up creating a situation where there are now 2 or more victims rather than just 1. So do no harm is going to be the number 6 item on my list here. And what that requires is 1, for you to be assessing your situation, 2, for you to understand your own limitations. And while I firmly believe that humans are capable of tremendous acts of courage and bravery and superhuman strength when we're inspired to do so, knowing your limitations is very important to this rule of doing no harm. And then lastly, you're going to take only actions that truly improve your situation, okay? So again, know your limitations, assess your situation, take actions that improve that situation. Number 7, navigate effectively, right? So every moment lost is indeed a moment lost. And I know we have tons of modern GPS units out there today that are great and fantastic, and they work in 99.9% of all scenarios as long as they have batteries in them. I'm a huge fan of having a traditional map and compass with you at all times when you're backpacking, and hiking, right? Because they're going to help you. They're going to work even if you have no cell service, even if there's no battery available, right? Waterproof maps are an awesome thing to acquire, because if you get caught in a rainstorm, they're not gonna deteriorate. You're still gonna be able to use them, right? But you have to be able to navigate effectively, and you have to know how to use these tools, right? And a map and a compass are only so good as the person reading them. So we call this orienteering, right, in the backpacking world. And if you don't know how to orienteer using a backpack, or using a compass and a map, you should certainly take some time to find other videos on that, or take a course in your local community from someone like REI on orienteering. So navigate effectively is my tip number 7. Tip number 8 is to know before you go. Now, I had someone recently contact me and say, I'm planning a spring backpacking trip in an area of North Carolina that I've never gone to. My friends are more experienced hikers, but I don't do it very often. Is this a terrible idea for us to go to a place that we don't know at all, right? My answer is no, that's not a terrible idea, right? I hike every summer or backpack every summer in new areas, because if I went to the same old area every time, right, that wouldn't be as fun. But there is a lot that we can do in preparation before we go to make us more comfortable and more aware of what that new environment's going to be like, right? So online research is a great place to start. A website or an app like All Trails is going to give you a lot of information about a trail that you've never done before. Community forums are a great place to research what the experience of others have been on those trails or in those wilderness areas. What tips do they have, or what things did they encounter that you might want to be aware of? And then my last really important tip on know before you go is, especially if you're going to a new area and traveling before you go hiking, is to work into your schedule a stop at the closest ranger station to where you're going to hike. There's nothing better than getting information firsthand from the people that spend the majority of their lives hiking and knowing those areas. They'll give you up-to-date information on what the trails look like, what the fire restrictions are, and a whole host of other information that you really can't get other than going straight to that source. So do some time to research the local ranger stations before you go so that you have as much knowledge as you can when you're going out. Tip number 9 is obviously to stock your first aid kit, right? So 1, bring a first aid kit, and then 2, work into your pre-hike checklist to make sure that that first aid kit has up-to-date supplies in it. There's nothing worse than realizing you need ibuprofen, realizing you need tape, realizing you need Band-Aids when you're 5 miles out on the trail, going through your first aid kit and finding that you haven't gone over it and you haven't updated it in over a year, right? So take the time before you go out to stock your first aid kit. And lastly, number 10 is invest in training. We can never be too prepared, and we can always learn more, right? This summer, I'm going to take another course from NOLS on wilderness to become a wilderness first responder. The American Red Cross offers wilderness first aid courses all over the country, and even just taking something as simple as one of their first aid and CPR courses is a great way to start and a great way to prepare yourself for when things do go wrong, or if things do go wrong on the trail. So those are tips 6 through 10 of my 10 tips for hiking preparedness. Once again, let me put the video here. If you missed out on tips 1 through 5, you can go back and check that out right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you something new that you didn't think about or that you might not have considered before. I want to make it very clear that these videos are not meant to scare anyone or to make anyone feel like they're not prepared and they shouldn't be hiking, right? My goal here is to inspire others to hike and make sure that you feel as prepared as possible. And that's the goal for having these 10 tips, is that you can be more prepared so that you can enjoy your experience outdoors. If you guys are interested in any other content that I've created on this channel, my backpack guide playlist is going to jump up right here very shortly here. Please like, comment, share this video if you found it very insightful, or if there's anyone that you know that is doing a big hiking trip that might not have thought about these tips for preparedness, please share this video with them. And then please subscribe here if you guys want to see more of this content. More subscribers means more support for me, more time I can take away from other things to create these awesome resources. So thank you for supporting my continued mission to explore wilderness, create new learning opportunities, and connect with nature. Once again, I'm the Backpack Guide. You can find me online at thebackpackguide.com. Created a lot more written resources there, and these videos are follow-ups on those. Thank you guys again. We'll see you guys next time.